It was the year of 1935. The great neurologist Sigmund Freud was still alive. He had a special platform for his psychological researchers called psychoanalytic couch. When the mental patient was made to sleep on this couch, he could be treated easily. Just like this, Edgar Cayce also had a couch like this. But the only difference was no one else was made to sleep on this couch except Cayce. He went to a deep sleep and revealed the past, present and the future of the person in front of him. However, one day, a young psychologist came to Cayce. Cayce inspected on his couch. After a little while, the psychologist realized that Cayce wasn't only exposing her future, but the whole world's destiny. This psychologist's name is Gina Seminara. She studied Edgar Cayce's story on reincarnation and published a book called Many Mansions in 1950. In this episode, we are going to explore the predictions of Cayce and analyze them. Before you hop into the video, I should remind you that every Cayce's prediction was a right one, but most of the predictions that Edgar Cayce did were right. So let's get into the video. Edgar Cayce was born in 18th March 1877 in Kentucky, United States. Since his childhood, he was abnormal. While kids in his age play at the parks, he used to study the Holy Bible. Actually, records say that he had read it 12 times. He liked to spend his time alone and he chose woods for it. However, in May 1899, Cayce was encountered to an angel. According to the biography of Edgar Cayce by Thomas Sergerer, he had told the angel that he wanted to help others, especially children. In the same day's evening, Cayce's father received a letter from Cayce's school mentioning that his knowledge on the language was quite low. His father got mad and beat Cayce until he fell down from the chair. Meanwhile, Cayce heard the voice of that angel saying that to keep his books under the pillow while sleeping. At the end of the year, Cayce was the most genius student in the class and also had a double promotion in his school. Cayce's parents noticed something strange in his life. One day, Cayce fell down from a stair and faced a partial paralyzed situation. His parents tried everything that they could, but still there wasn't any performance in Cayce's recovery. Meanwhile, that angel had told a secret verbal medicine to Cayce and Cayce exposed that to his parents. His parents moved to do that treatment because there were no other option left. Cayce has mentioned in his records in the very first day after that treatment, he had recovered 100%. In 1903, he married Gertrude Evans as his wife suggested him to use his ability for the well-being of the people. He started his psychological practices. He treated 2 patients per day. One day in 1902, a little girl came to him for a treatment. She had an untreatable brain damage then. The girl's parents had no hope of surviving. After the tests, Cayce said that she didn't have a brain damage but she had a spinal cord damage. After an adjustment made there, the bottom can be completely healed, he further replied. As her parents followed the instructions, the girl recovered soon. After this incident, Cayce was so popular in not only in America but also in the whole Europe. Since then, he spent his whole lifetime treating and giving prophecies to the world. Firstly, let's take Cayce's predictions that was right. Cayce predicted the stock market crash in 1926. That was 6 months before the stock market crash. Cayce had said his friends to withdraw the shares they had. In 1931, America faced the largest economical downfall in the country. Then Cayce predicted that the economy will be back on the place after a couple of years. Exactly in 1933 after that. In 1934, Cayce predicted the rise of Adolf Hitler in Germany, as well as he said to the world that the Germany will be main reason to the start of the World War II. He had said that Italy and Japan will be joining them. He exactly predicted the assassination of John F. Kennedy and the death of Franklin Roosevelt. He also predicted the separation of USSR in 1991, the appointment of the first African American president in America. That's 30 years before the appointment. Now we move on to the most highlighted prediction of Edgar Cayce. Cayce predicted the discovery of remains of an ancient sanctuary called Bimini near the coast of Florida and the return of the ancient continent of Atlantis in 1938. As he predicted, in 1960, archaeologists discovered remains of a dead continent, but more details are yet to be found. Atlantis was a large continent with developed technology, but because of the people's behavior, Atlantis fell down. In 1939, Edgar Cayce reportedly made a chilling prediction about the United States, foreseeing a period of turmoil marked by conflict between capital and labor. But he also predicted something like this. He told to the world that the Earth's poles are changing by 16 to 20 degrees. He stated that the change will happen with the eruption of Mount Etna, and then Africa will be divided into 3 parts, and countries like Japan and Singapore will be completely lost to the sea. A part of Australia will sink under the sea, and New Zealand will begin to expand and join Australia. He also predicted that the cities of London and Birmingham in England will exist as separate islands. You may be wondering when this will happen. He said this was happening in 1998. So he is wrong this time. He has done around 4,000 predictions in his lifetime. He has done around 14,000 predictions in his lifetime. This is one of the rarest predictions that went wrong. But I should say this also. The north and south poles of the earth did change in 1998, but that was the only thing that happened in that prediction. In a conclusion, prophets are individuals believed to have a special connection with the divine or supernatural realm, through which they receive messages, insights, or revelations about the future, moral guidance, or other significant matters. Prophets have appeared in various religions, traditions throughout history, such as Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and others. Followers of these traditions often regard prophets as messengers of God. Followers of these traditions often regard prophets as messengers of God or representatives of divine will. The significance and role of prophets vary across different belief systems and cultural contexts. Some people place great importance on the teachings and prophecies of these figures, while others may weave them with skepticism or interpret their messages in metaphorical or symbolic terms. In some of his readings, Edgar Cayce discussed apocalyptic themes and the end themes. He prophesied about a series of cataclysmic events that would lead to a significant geological and social changes on Earth. Cayce's predictions often aligned with concepts found in various religious texts, such as the book of Revelation in the Bible. That brings the end of today's episode. Stay tuned with Magnifier, then you can watch episodes like these. Comment down your ideas about the program. Until we meet again, have a pleasant break.